Hello everyone. My name is Célia and I'm here today with my friend and colleague Florent to talk to you about Execubot, a serious game designed to help students learn programming, especially Python in our case. So just to begin with, to introduce ourselves and explain you how Execubot comes from, I am a computer science teacher in French high schools, so do Florent, and he also teaches computer science at Sorbonne University, and I'm starting a PhD on code reading, based especially on Execubot. So, as both teachers, we shared a common and challenging context. We have to learn students between 15 and 18 years old how to program, especially in Python, because in France, we don't have the choice in high schools. It's Python and nothing else. And we work with large groups, around 36 students. So we have a lot of differences in motivations, in levels. Kind of difficult to teach everyone at the same time. A lot of our students are not very engaged in the programming class because they don't even know what it is at first. So it's kind of difficult, and we started to search for solutions. And we were like, okay, maybe to engage our students, we maybe need a game, because game can engage easily young students, and we try to search for a serious game, especially in Python. The first one we found was Pirates, which is well known in France. I don't know if you know it. Does some of you know? It's a French game. I think there is an English version if you want to test it. So the purpose is simple. You have to write some code, and you make the pirates move around the grid through the chess. So it's a very good game, indeed. Our students really liked it, but it was kind of difficult for them at first, because we asked them from the beginning to write code. And for young students who don't even know what program is, it can be difficult. So we use it in our class, but not at the beginning of the year, maybe later. The second game we found was Compute It. It's a little game where students need to read code, you see to the right, and they move the little dot that you see around the grid. And it was a real success when we tried it in our classes. Students were engaged. They learned about loops, conditions, everything by themselves, by reading, and just with the keyboards, they just need to move the dots. So it was very easy to use. It was free on the web, so no installations. It was very easy to use. But from our teacher's perspective, it had some limitations. The first one is we only have 60 levels. That's it. So when you're done the levels, you don't use the game anymore. And we don't have, as teachers, we don't have any control over the progressions or over the levels that the students will do. So we liked it, but it's one use, one time. So we're like, okay, maybe we can reach them, contact them, ask for improvements, or maybe to ask what we can do with that. And we didn't have any answer. So we said, like, okay, maybe we have to do our own version. And that's when Execubot comes from. Execubot, so it's a serious game. It's fully free and open source. No installation. You can play it on your web browser, even on your mobile if you want to test it. On your mobile, I will do a demo. Just for you to know, on your mobile you won't have the 2 players mode and the lovers lab, but I will come back to it later. So the main purpose is reading and executing code. That's what we wanted at first, because we saw that it was a good start with the students who don't even know programming. And what we wanted the most was it has to be configurable by the teacher. So we can have multiplayer on local, so it's not on network. You can do a two-player mode, as I will show you after. Maybe a little demo. Oh. So, when you arrived on the website, you have this little robot, even if you on your mobile. And the first thing I advise you is to change the language, because it's French. So you can, on your mobile, also you can go to the settings and choose your language. We have, for now, 5 languages. And just for the demo, I will do it in English. Just for the demo, I will choose only 5 levels, because we don't have so much time. Okay, this is not very important, but you can put a username if you want to. For now, we only have Python, but we want, in many years, maybe in several years maybe, add some other languages if we want to teach other things than Python. We can show the tutorial first, show timer, I will show you in the game. And we have a visual accessibility available, because our game uses colors. So if you have students, or if you don't really see colors, you can activate this one to be playable. Okay, so you can choose 1 player, 2 players, and you use your keyboard. Okay, so as you see, you have the code to the right, you have the robot to the left, and you have to execute line by line your code. So if it's pink or green, I will go up and right. And you have immediate response. So if now I should go to the right, but if I'm wrong, it's starting immediately. So students have immediately feedback. It's very easy to use. And we have some helps here. So when we are with 36 students, it's really helpful, because we can't always be with each other, with everyone, sorry. So everyone can go on the help and see by themselves what they're doing. If, elif, else, and every time you have a Python keywords, it's explaining it here. So up, right, I will do some levels. Right down, down, left. Okay. And as a teacher, we also thought it would be useful to be able to go back to the levels done, because sometimes students do it without knowing what they're doing, just by chance. So if I want to be sure, I can go to the students and say, okay, let me show me how you did it, and we go back to the levels we already done if needed. And of course, I have big levels, down, 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 right, down, right, left, and right, down, right. Oh, fine. It's a trick. One, I did it with my students, and I'm always laughing when they do the second time. So right down. This is the first one we did. Then we go down, and then we have to do it again. So this time we start with the down, because we're on the purple. So down, right. Oh, again a tricky one. Okay, up, down. I need to be more focused. That's what I say to my students, not automatically. Okay, so down, right, down, and then down. Okay, and then you have, of course, your score. It's about timing, so if you want to don't do a timing score, you can. As I show you on the settings, you can disable the timer. Maybe you don't want to stress your students with this, so it's again the teacher who chooses. We let the teacher choose. Okay, so this is the main feature. We can do it with 2 players. And it's about the one who will be 3 up, 1, 2, 3 up and left. So I win. So it's about rapidity and about speed, sorry. And what we want to do is to engage again more students when they've done what we wanted with the specific levels we gave them. They can play a little more with their friend. Quoi? Pour? Ah. Okay, then we have Trade Pass. Trade Pass is mostly for teachers. When we want the students to do some levels, we can ask them to go to the website and just, like what I did, play one player. But we can also say, okay, I want you to do specific levels because today I want to work on conditions, so I will choose, for example, all the levels with conditions. And we have an URL, and you can send it to your students. And if you see here, I have 9 levels with only condition, with only if. So you can choose everything you want. Oh. Everything you want. Do you want to have specific levels, or do you want to only select by tags? You can set URL parameters here. For example, maybe, as I said, if I don't want the timer for my students, I can uncheck this one. And I can set a number of levels if I want them to do a specific numbers of one. The last but not least feature is Levels Lab. So, as I said, at the beginning, we wanted our students to read code, execute it, and understand how Python works, with the indent, with the blocks, maybe. So we wanted to students to really understand what they're reading. But with our older students, we need them also to write code. And that's when we started to think about the Levels Lab, where you can run and write your own levels. So, for example, I can set a small grid, I can color it. We can do big colors too, and maybe I want So, for example, if I do this, I can test my code so students can write their own. They really like it because they can do the grid they want. So usually they like to draw things, and they can test it by themselves, and they have an immediately feedback. Here we don't have any error in the code, but for example, if we forgot the 2 points, there will be a feedback too. So again, very easy to use in class. For the teacher, it's very helpful to have these tools to check if they do a good code. You can also download this level if you want to work on it later, and you can also upload a level and edit it if you didn't finish the work the previous time. You can, this level is not good, so I correct my code. And if your code is correct, you can play your own code. So here I can play my own level that I built, and it's very fun with students because they can play the levels from their friend or from the teacher if we want specific ones. Okay, this is done. So, how I use it in class with my students to be very, to give you some use cases. First of all, I use it when I want my students to discover things in programming language. So, for example, I want them to discover by themselves how we do conditions, and I will specifically choose some levels. I will share with them the URL, and I want them to discover, to explore, to make mistakes, to try again, to making mistake again. So they very autonomous on it, and it's very fun to watch them see what are the rules of the Python, and then we can work on it in class afterwards. A second use case, I use it after a lesson. For example, we saw in class how we do a for loop, for example. And, okay, I said some lesson, maybe it was boring, but you can try by yourself and try to understand really how it works. So I did a lesson, and then we practice. Usually I ask them first to read code and execute it, and then I ask them to write at least one level with a loop, for example. Third, I usually advise all my students to use it at a revision tool, because it's really accessible everywhere, even on their mobile. So I always say to them that they can go on it. And finally, we can evaluate at the end of a sequence if some skills have been acquired. Okay, a brief technical overview. So the project is on the GPL v3 license. It's hosted on La Forge des Communs, which is a GitLab from French educations, common to every teachers in French education. It's a static web application, so no installation, no registration, no subscription, and no server-side installation. The project is, as you can see, mainly in TypeScript, but we have the game logical in Python, even if it's not the biggest part of the project. And of course, because it's a static website, we have HTML and CSS. Do you want to talk about Python one?
Hello. So I will talk a little bit about the Python side of the project. So we have a package which is available with pipe install as every normal package in Python. So many times ago I packaged some things, but it was horrible. And with UV package manager now it's really clean and easy. So it's a problem fixed. And what do you have when you install execubot.py? Actually, you have one entry point, which is execubot CLI, and which is mainly the tool for the developers. But as a teacher, you could be a developer for the levels, the advanced levels. It's all the tools you could want to test your levels, and we will have soon just another entry point for gamers in terminal if they want, with a new client we will see later. It will be just execubot. So this is just a little screenshot. You have all the commands available with the execubot CLI as it was with development version. There is a U variant before, but if you install execubot CLI, you just use execubot CLI name, and you have a print command which print you the level in the text of the level. So yes, we use an extension PyE to differentiate from the files of the repository for the statistics of language. It's more honest, because at the beginning, as we have a lot of levels with .py, we were thinking there were a lot of Python code in the project, but there is no a lot of Python code. So there is 9 commands. You have the print, which is a gift from the rich library, which is a very nice Python library to do beautiful things in the terminal. So we have the syntax aligning of the code, and then we have all the useful useful commands. The extractor returns a return a dictionary with all the information found in a level. You have the grid, which returns you standard grid, because we have 2 formats, and we have the normal format, which is a list of colors, and we have a short formats, which is easier to write if you do it in a text file. But if you use the Level Lab interface, you will have this format at the end, because it's a lot easier to read, but it's easier to write the short format. Okay, so you have tags which give you the information of how the level will be classified in the interface for the path creation, for proposition of levels. Okay, here we have the elif keyword, and you have an evaluation of the difficulty. So we have a little algorithm, and it's quite an easy level, because there is only the elif keyword as difficulty, so it's a 3. You have the solver, which is the more technical part of the code, which returns you a list of tuple with each direction you have to do to solve the level, and the line of the code which generates this direction. So this give us the possibility to show to the student or where he is in the code when he is executing it. So we have execubot long, the long command to know the dictionary used for the solver, the engine. So here is an English, so each keyword is the value is the same, but you can have a localization with 13 words. You have a complete engine in the language you want. I think Célia will show you an example. Just, okay, you have the generator generate the JSON code of the level, which is used by the website. Okay, this is the curse client, this is the 9th command. Donc you can play in the terminal the same level that you have on the website, and this is nice if you want to test your work or if you want to play. Okay, the integration of the Python client side, there is a lot of technical possibilities, but very interesting, but long things to do. Okay, a lot of okay. There is no Python, as everybody knows. There is no Python in the browser. So how to do Python in the browser if there is no Python? The first technique is not to do it. Okay, so 1 player, 2 player, there is no problem, because the levels are generated by the CLI, then loaded in a database JSON. So no need. But when you create some levels with the level lab, you need a Python to execute the new level. So we evaluate the situation. You can see that Batavia, PyPy.js are dead project. Transcript and Skult are really slowing their evolution. And we have 2 possibilities, real possibilities. There is Pyodid and Breton, and Pyodid is really heavy, because if you need C libraries, use it. It works great. But if you just want a little bit of JavaScript of Python, pure Python code. In JavaScript, use Briton. Okay. So we use Briton, and you can see other project what they chose. Okay. The halting problem, a big problem. So how we handle this? We have a timer decorator, and this is because we have only two methods, direction and color. We generate at the runtime with your dictionary with your translation dictionary in the language you want. So there is nothing to do more than just to have 13 words translated, and you will have this working. But there is this timer which is at 1 second configuration, and it can help with the halting problem. So you can see that there is no problem with the while, because the while is using by definition a color. So each time you have one method, one execubot method, colors of direction, you have the timer which is evocated. Okay, so the while a yellow will no problem. The while true, there is no problem if there is something inside, a right or left or a down. And one possible problem when students forget the parenthesis, because the yellow will be evaluated to true. Okay. This is the main problem. Okay, so next. The recursion handling. Briton is configured as a normal default of the Python interpreter. It's 1,000 calls, but you can change it if you want with the normal way set recursion limit, but probably after that this is the JavaScript VM limitation, which is the probably around 3,000 for my test, but I have to maybe see. Well, it's not very important. Virtual machine don't do recursion very well. Okay, thank you.
Well, we don't have any more time, but just for you to know, so for the website itself, we don't have any database server. We only have GitLab page. That's all we have. So we had to think about a solution to store every levels, and as Florent said, all the levels are stored in a JSON files. And we use an interface in TypeScript to read them and load them. And if you see, we have all the answer in the JSON files. So we don't use Python or Briton if we have already the levels. It's only for the new levels. One big technical work we did was about translation. So we have 5 languages available on the website, but in Python, in the CLI, you can use any language you want at the condition that you give it a language dictionary. For example, we use Dothraki. I don't know if you know Game of Thrones, but the Dothraki language we used, and that's already also possible if we want to make fun with it. And to avoid a lot of mistakes from our students, we used a custom auto-completion, because they always forget the parentheses. So we did a little work with keywords we want to propose them, and avoid as possible as we can to avoid mistakes from our students. So to conclude, just for you to know, all contributions are welcome. You can propose new levels, you can mention bugs or propose fixes, you can suggest improvements, because it's a very young project. It has less than a year, so we have a lot to do. And of course, you can propose translations. Now we have 5 languages, and 3 of them are made by some of our students. So thanks to them. And you have all the contact information on the website, so you can contact us as you want. Yeah. Thank you. if we have some question, yeah, yes.
Are there the function names also in the translation files? Can they also be translated?
Which one?
The function name, for example, it showed combined function French.
Yeah, we didn't have a translation on it because everyone can name their own function as they want. So the name of the function is not translated for now. Maybe we will find a solution later, but for now it's not translated.
In the default levels, right?
Sorry?
So the default levels are by default function names in French.
In the levels lab, no. In the levels lab, you will have always your custom language. For example, here I set at the beginning, I set it in English. You know, I went to my settings and I said English, and now everything is in English. So I can use the color in English, I can use the directions, and if I want to name a function in English, I can, because I can name a function whatever I want. Did I answer your question? Yeah, okay. And I didn't say it, but you can also write a code in another languages if you want to. That's also a possibility. Yes.
Hello. I'm curious about the place of this in your computer science curriculum. So you say that this is like for beginners, and so where do they go from there? How does the skills they learn transfer to other programs?
So in France high school, we have 3 levels. The first one, we have to introduce Python. It's not very advanced. Like they need to know how to read it and how to understand it. So this is the first level, and it's a mandatory course. The students have to do it. In the other 2 levels, it's a choice from the students, so they can choose our course. And then we have to make them write more code. So this game, I use it differently, depend on the levels that I have. So the first one, the youngest, I use it mainly as the tools and to discover Python. So I make some path with, first we will see conditions, next day we will see just a for loop, next day the while, etc. So I choose very specific levels, and each day I choose one specific skills or one keyword. And with others, I will do quietly the same, but I will go further with, for example, with code writing and share each other levels. Yeah. Yes.
So is there no block-based coding in France, or?
They did it in the year before. Comment on dit collège en anglais? Middle school. Yes, thank you. In the middle school, yeah, they do some Scratch. I think you know what is Scratch. And then when they go to high school, we have to go with Python. Yes.
What's the minimum age at which this investment applied?
So we use it with students between 15 and 18 years old, but we had some colleagues which we talk with, and they use it with middle school, so between 11 and 15. And we even have one colleague who tasted with his children under 10. And it was okay, but we had some difficulties with the right and the left. So we will we will try to replace, this. We will try to replace the keywords up, down, right, and left with some arrow for the next. Sorry? Yes, for the beginner version. Yeah. But it can be used with a lot of students. Yes.
May I ask, can teachers track the how students are improving, or if they have some difficulties while using this game, because there are 36 people in the classroom, so you might have a lot of difficulties there. So can this application be used to get some feedback automatically?
For now, no, because we don't have any server side application. It's a static web, so we don't have anything to do that. But for now, we For now, we have, you can pass through your classroom and see the time of each one, or, you have here, you have the progression, so you can have even a visual ID with the top bar. You can have an ID when you go through the class, but we don't have anything coming back to us. We're trying to do this in France because we have some application that maybe can do it, but because it's students and we have some rules about personal data, etc., it's kind of difficult to just do it like that. So it's a work in progress. Yes.
Hi. Thank you for the presentation. And after that, where do you go if you have some more progress students, or you want to dive deeper into the language? Is there something in the future, or how do you use? What is the continuation?
For now, for our two first levels, the game manage all the keywords that we need to see, like the if, for, while, and the def. That's the keywords we need to see, and it does a job. When we want to go further, usually we use something else, and we go with another type of exercise. But we have a colleague that created competitions or tournaments with this game, so it can be also a new way to use the game even deeper, to try to make your mind faster, have some good habits. And you can also, this one, the help you have is the code tracker, which is not a debug tool. Be careful, because it's the action you did it, so it's not the next action you have to do. But this one, for example, it's you can remove it if you want as a teacher, because maybe I want at first to help them with that, but maybe later I want them to do it by themselves, like where am I in the code. So you can add some difficulties, but the keywords in Python, I think it will be the same, and we can't go further about that. It's over?
Visual accessibility, children get hypnotized.
Yeah, it can be useful for people who don't really see colors. Maybe we'll find another motif. So sorry, we don't have any more time, but if you have questions, we'll be glad to answer you. Thank you.